Dolors is editor-in-chief at El Caparazón, a blog which is an important reference in the area of education and ICT. She works as a teacher and consultant on community and technology issues, social networks, open social learning, education and ICT for several and different universities, organizations, and businesses. And she is also part of several advisory boards on technology and the knowledge society. It's also important to point out that she's a very very well-known and prestigious expert about topics such as virtual communities, Web 2.0, social media, open social learning, and virtual learning environments. Today, Dolors will speak to us about open social mobile learning. Then, Dolors.
Okay. Thanks. Slow down your listening skills because my English is much poorer than the two before. I have prepared a presentation to catch your attention for the presentation, or not for my words, and I will try to do it well. Okay, we are going to talk about open social learning. To have a connection with the speaker before I have the last question, and I had an answer for the last question. What's the matter with the people that could not access to all these because of the white or because they have not connection? What's the matter? The answer is open social learning, or more or less. The answer is that we must to call technology for resolve that kind of things. Technology not wireless technology, not connection technology, but there is social software that is capable to download the things and to could be read then or later. This could be a solution. I think that we cannot tell us no, there is no solution. There are a lot of solutions that it can be imagined, or we must imagine new solutions. Starting with my presentation, there are some other open social resources that I think that have or must be reanalyzed or in the view of open social learning mobile, adding the mobile question to open social learning questions or statements now. This statement is, I will begin with this. The internet is not about empowerment of new leaders, it is about empowerment of everyone. I think that it connects with the presentation before too. And mobile web is about this, it's more. There is no digital divide, or there is every time increasingly less digital divide because of the mobile. Or we must give thanks to mobile phones to reduce the digital divide. This democratized education is more possible than ever. We must to give the opportunity and to take advantage of this. Technology, not ideology, change the world. I think that this is an important statement too. It's from Adolf Huxley, and Brave New World is the great novel. And I think that it applies very well to mobile learning too, to the things that we are talking about these days. Mobile web, the mobile web. I'm going to talk about the mobile web, the possibilities that are opened, but in the open social mobile web. And this is the question. I think that we cannot, or in Spain, for example, we cannot talk about mobile learning till we have a smartphone penetration. We are talking about a smartphone learning. We cannot talk about mobile learning in the Nokia Symbian operative systems. We must to talk about Android, about iPhone, about the smartphones, about RIM, about BlackBerry. About I'm not going to or yes, I'm going to to decide among the systems, but this is not the question. The question is we are talking about smartphones. In 2011, in the United States, Nielsen company, you know, the statistics company, tells us that 50% of mobile phones will be smartphones. I don't know where is it. Yes, more or less about 50% will be smartphones. This is an important number, an important thing. This will reduce the digital divide. It's not true that mobile phones reduce itself the digital divide. Smartphones reduce the digital divide, or have the capability to reduce it. Other numbers, 36% of the internet traffic in the United States is spent on online news. It gives some ideas about the possibilities of open social web mobile learning. 14% of this is from mobile phones. This is an important thing to take into account too. For 70% of 16 to 25 youth, mobiles are the most important media. The kind of media is no longer important. This is a statement that it sounds strange. The media was the message from McLuhan. Now, the Mark Bressel from Microsoft, a month ago, no, a weeks ago, I think, was saying the contrary, that it's no longer the media is the message. The important thing is that the message could be translated to different kind of media. Now I was reading that UOC, University of Catalonia, was launching an app for iPad to access their platform, her platform. And this is an important thing. This is the translation of this kind of message. The media is not more important. The important thing is to go to everything, to everywhere, if you could, if you can. Education is also in crisis. I think I say always that education has always been in crisis. Education itself is crisis. Education wants to change the world. If we want to change the world, every is on crisis always. I mean, it's a silly thing, more or less. But now there is a film waiting for Superman. I don't know if you have listened about it before. There are indeed films talking about the crisis of education. This is not the only one. It was We Are the People We Have Been Waiting For. Was a Lord Batman film from some months ago too. There are several films talking about the crisis. Indeed, Bill Gates has told that education is on crisis. I am very angry because there are a lot of people, you probably are talking about crisis, education is on crisis some months ago, and now arrives Bill Gates, and this is a statement yet. Crisis, education is on crisis. The sentence is like this: describing traditional studies as place-based and inefficient, he forecasts that university education will become 5 times less important within 5 years. It's I don't remember exactly the numbers, but it is translated to dollars. If now a year in a United States university costs $20,000 a year, in 5 years it will cost $2,000 a year. This is the power of democratization in the first place, but they have another implications. With online lectures, sources picking up the ranks of ranks, it's the range. It lacks a G in the range of enlightening youth. or in the education will take place on the web. It would be the translation. We are talking about web learning, smartphone learning. In 5 years, the best education will come from the web, is the statement. This is in this schema, I summarize the possibilities of open social learning in three topics: open, social, and learning. We are going to talk about open, and in the open sense, this is the fantastic thing that we are living today. Wikipedia was created in 1% of time spent yearly by Americans watching TV. This is an important quote, I think. Clay Shirky, you know Clay Shirky, an important sociologist American, in his last book named Cognitive Surplus, precisely, talks about what if education, what if the web, what if our brains, lately, our cognitive surplus, TV, his arguments are that TV has has stopped our thinking possibilities, has becoming ourselves passive subjects, and we are now waking up and discovering all the possibilities that we have as a humans individually and as a humans as a collective, as the collective intelligence, you know. Wikipedia, this is the statement. For this, the things must be open, or these possibilities, these great possibilities for the human being and for the humankind too, are mediated or need the things to be open, or the more open possible. Cognitive surplus, social surplus. I think that we are more social than we think, or that the social sciences are demonstrating every day. Empathic Civilization from Jeremy Rifkin is another important book about these things. The mirror neurons. Do you know about the mirror neurons, that are neurons in our minds that are prepared to imitate, or that are social itself. When I study, I am a psychologist. When I studied, it weren't discovered yet. It has been a recent discovering. And the science generally, or social science, is evolving to tell us that we are more social than we were thinking. We are more social. The web is demonstrating that Web 2.0 or 0.0 web is demonstrating too that we are more social than we could think about ourselves. Social surplus and creative surplus, abundance of knowledge, abundance of opportunities to collaborate, to initiate a community is one click ahead. Technology, or abundance of technology, we must to ask for solutions to technologists. I always tells, and I always am criticized for answering technologies for always a solution. Technology must be transparent, must solutionate all the problems. It is not an excuse, or they must to give a response to our needs. And this multimedia abundance, or we have to answer technologies for all that abundance be free, or be the more open possible. Quantity, you have a watch about the quantity of contents we are uploading at this time to the internet on different. This is a graphic or an application made by Gary Hayes. It is itself a demonstration of creativity on the web. Gary Hayes gives some data, put it together, and makes this Flash application to monitorize in real time the collective surplus, or cognitive, creative on time, in real time. This you can analyze this later, there are a lot of data here. Quantity, but we are talking too about quality. I don't know, let me stop it for a moment. You have the QR codes to download or to could watch the videos in your phones. Do you know this, the QR codes? This is the video URL of the video. It's interactive. There is some interactive in the presentation in form of these QR codes there are QR codes in the first slide too to download the presentation totally. I'm going to go ahead. This one is an iPhone orchestra. Is an experiment from Stanford University that gives us another glance of creativity, of the possibilities of creativity, this time with mobile phones. Directly. It's the iPhone orchestra. You could see it after tomorrow or any time. Open licenses, I think that this is the EduPunk photo. I don't know if you know Jim Groom and all the people that is working with open blogs, with WordPress, with blogs planets, with network learning, with all the possibilities in the open web. This has here you have seen before. This picture too. The web is dead. We must to be free or to look for free resources. Not only we are talking about licenses. We are talking too about apps. About the apps are great. It would be fantastic that it would be an app that could download the content for the places that have no connection, but we must be dangerous. We must be dangerous of the neutrality of the apps. This was when Wired said the web is dead. It was referring to this. This one, the operators' dependencies, the net neutrality is another danger that we must to face. And this, I think that are the three statements that we must defend. All work is derivative, all books are hypertextual, all ideas are free. We are talking about Shakespeare. Shakespeare was inspired by books that were written and before him, and Cervantes too. For the Spanish people, Cervantes too, and they too recognize it. It's not a surprise. Bits are free naturally, and we must to change the laws to adapt to it. I defend Android. Because Android is free, because not only the web is it's more free than the web. You can work with iPhones with free resources, as the experience that Steve has explained it as before. But it's better with Android because this is an operative system that is free. I have a choice in all of this, on all of this stuff. Social, we have talked about social, and some. We are talking. This summarize, I think, the social successful of the web. Twitter, Facebook, WordPress are social based, are social and recognize and social recognition based. We are motivated by these things. This is the Maslow pyramid, and you recognize the icons of the social web here. This is the mobile geosocial universe. This is the percent of social networks that are accessed yet from mobile phones. From this Facebook, it's 500 million of users. You see that the half approximately are accessing to Facebook from their mobile phones. This is an idea of the social related phenomena. And this graphic tells us about the future of the mobile social learning. No, mobile learning is social. Is this column? It lacks to incorporate social issues to mobile learning. I think that the next generation must be more social, more collaboration, more peer-to-peer generated content, all of this stuff. Social is more important than ever. You have seen this this joke. And these are other topics related to the things I am telling to you. These are the mirror neurons, empathic civilization, networks, the emergence theories. These are topics that you can explore later too. On a signal sociometry, Alex Penland has an interesting book about it. Collective Intelligence, Surowiecki, if you know, have also an interesting book. Ways to be together. I think that the internet is changing, is offering us new ways to be together. And this is the main thing about the internet success, and that we are being more social in the internet. About learning, we are moving from a world full of questions with a few answers to a world full of answers where we have to make us the correct questions. I think this is a basic statement of the future of the education. Nowadays, it's more easy than ever to have answers. When I was a child, I had a lot of questions in my mind, and I couldn't resolve it immediately. Now, and mobile mediatized another time. You can to ask Google anything, and I think that I know that Google is not always the best response. We are going to look at this, but this is the basic thing to take into account. The web as a knowledge research platform, the application you have seen before was an example of this, of the web can be a research platform. Mobiles are curiosity amplifiers. John C. Brown is one of the great social learning theorists, and this is an important statement, I think, that summarizes very well all the thing. This curiosity can be fed a lot with all these dispositives or mobile machines. Learning in complex environments requires flexibility and an explorative approach. It's another statement on open social learning that increases its value in the mobile context, in the mobile world. Literacies, new literacies, Steve has told about this yet. 140 characters literacies, micro-learning, small screen display, learning bytes. You have read before about this. Just-in-time, real-time learning questions. We have seen this. Location-based, ubiquitous learning every time, everywhere, Expanded, augmented reality, informal learning. Informal learning increases its opportunities a lot with the mobile phones. Auto, do-it-yourself, or open social learning has a principle. If it has an important principle, this is do-it-yourself principle. And mobile phones are especially especially good for auto learning or for do-it-yourself learning. Not only Google has responses, the teacher has a role. The teacher must be a facilitator, a curator. You know the PLA, the Personal Learning Environments methodology? Yes. Okay. No, if you want to stop in 5 minutes or 3 minutes. PLA, personal learning environments, are important in this context. In fact, I was thinking about this presentation, and I was thinking about to prepare to you some PLA approaches for mobile phones. But it is a silly thing. I have realized that it's not a good thing, because you cannot construct a PLA, a personal learning environment, in a mobile phone. It has no sense. You can construct a PLA in your house or in your university or with a PC or with a Mac, with a machine that is more comfortable. It's a silly thing to construct it with a mobile phone. You can access to your PLE with your mobile phone. This is the sense. There are not applications to construct a PLE on mobile phones. It will be probably, but there are applications that translate NetVives, have applications to your mobiles. And this is the idea. It's not a construction idea, but a source of news in everywhere, every time, on your phones. This would be the idea. This one is a PLE constructing NetVives, and this one is an Android application that is capable to read the feed sources of your PLE. If you have a Twitter application, a Facebook application, etc., you have your PLA mobile. It's a silly thing to construct it, particularly for mobiles, I think. There are applications. This was an application that takes my attention because it's curious. Serendipity is an application under development at MIT that set our social networking profile to alert us whenever we are near an expert in the topic of our choice. It's an augmented reality app that in your enterprise, in your organization, could tell you, near you in the 230 room, there is a lawyer that could assess you to your debt in this time. It's an interesting application. I think that we will be seeing, we will see a lot of apps like this. Perhaps the future role of learning is to find, organize, and enable the experts. It's a possibility. I think it's an interesting possibility. We are finishing. And for finish, I think that we must look at mobile as a tool that makes more powerful this approach. Blogs, wikis, social networks are bringing us another time, another opportunity to create a Greek Agora, but global Greek Agora. It's an interesting option that we must to aprovechar, no me sale, to take advantage of. Okay, very well. Global conversation, learning and participation. I always say that the digital divide, it's no longer digital divide, it's more a participation divide. We must to educate the people to participate because they are not used to. And these are finishing the new opportunities. In a few time, there will be in the market, or it's now in the market, actually, the Windows Phone, the Facebook Phone, and instead, this project that we could see for finish. If you have not seen it, is a project from Mozilla that is not a real project. It's an idea of the mobiles of the future that can give us an idea that what kind of future we are going to see or to live. home cinema in the mobile, inside the mobile. I think that the most important thing to finish yet is that mobile phones will be an important tool for learning. On my opinion, I am very preoccupied, or I am very sad lately because it seems that the content production on the internet has decreased, and the social networks users has increased, but the content production has decreased. We need to educate participation because this could be all ideas, and we have an opportunity to take advantage of. It's important. And mobile phones will be important if they allow us to interact. I am not very fan of the iPad because the iPad is very passive. Return us to a passive position. We look at the iPad. The people, mobile phones too. This kind of interfaces project the keyboard in any surface. This kind or these ideas, and the future mobiles will not have this problem because the keyboard issue is very well solution, or it has a very good solution. That's all. Thank you.
There are anybody have a question? Eva?
Hi, Dolors. Eva again. I love your idea of learning in an agora-like environment and global participation. And I see how we are promoting mobile devices, you know, in educational institutions such as myself, the one I work for. But how much do you think institutions are really becoming an obstacle to this agora for insisting on transferring the same learning or pedagogies, but just through technology? Meaning, are we just integrating technologies thinking that that's the way to get to the agora? Or doing that and not changing the pedagogy in itself? You know, we're not going to get the agora. Maybe that's why the content is decreasing.
Yes.
You know? So how much, I know that you consult for educational institutions, we work for one, and how much is about the technologies themselves, and how much do we need to change, you know, that pedagogy to really get to the agora global participation? Thank you.
Yes. Good question and very complex to answer, but I will try it. I think that we must to open our minds generally in a lot of senses, but in this sense too. I think that traditional institutions feel all this stuff like a danger, finally, Clay Shirky talks about the power of organization without organizations. Or at the last extent, it is true that it's supposed that the institutions will be no sense in a years. I think that is not when you put on the table this kind of methodology, PLA methodology, personal learning environments, for example, one question is, in evaluation, how we will evaluate all of this? And I always say the same thing. I had a teacher that worked like this several years ago, when I was 15, when I was 15, I had a teacher that worked like this and evaluated our libreta, our notebook, yes, our paper notebook. The teacher, the first day of class, and in the secondary education, arrived and said us, we will not do any exam. I will evaluate your notebook. This is a great. I was in the evenings. I went to the bibliothèque or the the library of my town, and I was perfectioning my notebook to give this is the PLA, or basically this is the same thing. It is very easy to evaluate. An expert from any specialty could say that your PLN or personal learning network is correct or not, or this source is good, this source is bad. Human criteria is more important than ever. It's not true that all of this technology kills the human role in pedagogy. I think that it's not true. It has been misunderstanding all of this. I don't know if I have responded. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Very good presentation.
Thank you.
My name is Newton. I'm from IE in Madrid, business school. And my question is in the same line regarding the content and the facilitator, the professor. Because the problem I've been seeing is that if we have too many people working with the facilitator, of course there is a different flow of information coming from the people who are watching. If we had, like, I don't know, 500 people watching us right now and asking questions, we would have a problem with the flow, because we would have only you answering and 1,000 people asking. So do you see any way on how this can go in the future?
Yes, I think that there is actually a solution. You can respond any question that we have the hashtag here, no? Any question could be responded by you. You have an opportunity to respond, to participate, to be a curator, to demonstrate, to present to this agora as an expert. This is the new opportunity that you must not be of an institution to be an expert. I think this is an important thing. You are more free than ever. That the institutions have their function. I was lately in a congress with a curator from a museum, and I told her, you have an important thing to do. You are the curator of, you are the expert of this subject in the world. From an institution, casually, you could, from an institution, and you are at the same level of a person that is not from an institution. This is the kind of thing. Institutions must be better. Simply must be excellent. I can not talk my bad English because I'm not an institution. No, but I could not represent an institution talking like this. No, it's a joke. But yes, no, or not. But do you know? No, we must to pursue excellence as an institution, more as an institution. Also as an individuals, and we can demonstrate it to the agora. Twitter is the agora right now. You can go out and demonstrate all the people that you are or more expert than me on some things that probably you are more expert than me, but I am not good, and anyone is good, and you must to get the natural things, to keep the things transparent. I think that an important word in all of this context is transparency. If I didn't know about some subject, it will emerge. You will know it, and if you know something more than me, and you say it on Twitter, it will emerge too. And retweets, viralization, all of these Castells talks about autocomunicación de masas. The translation is very difficult to me right now. Autocomunicación de masas, autocommunication of masses, or the empowerment of the individual to communicate to a lot of people. If you tweet something very good, I will retweet it, and all the people will know that you are an expert of something. I think this is the great question.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I think it's time to lunch now, and so Thank you very much for this interesting talk. Thank you.